Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we're diving into one of the most frustrating mysteries in the off-grid world. Batteries that claim they're totally full, but then just randomly die on you right when you need them most. If you've ever stood there staring at your solar charge controller in complete disbelief because your system shut down overnight, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to bypass the screens and unlock the actual chemical truth hiding inside your battery bank.
So, let's talk about this massive pain point for a second. We've all been there, right? Your system monitor proudly declares your battery is at 100%, but your actual runtime just keeps dropping week after week. You swap out cables, you double-check your solar panels, but the problem just won't go away. So what's actually happening here? Well, spoiler alert, the problem isn't your panels. And honestly, it might not even be permanent battery damage. The real issue is almost certainly hidden inside the electrolyte itself, and the crazy part is your digital screens are completely blind to it.
And that brings us to the core premise of today's explainer: voltage versus specific gravity. Now, voltage, which, let's be real, about 99% of us rely on entirely, can so easily lie to you. It gets skewed by surface charge illusions and weird resistance fluctuations. But specific gravity? That right there is the undeniable chemical truth of your battery. You literally cannot fake specific gravity. If your voltage meter says full, but the specific gravity says empty, guess what? That battery is empty. It really is that simple.
All right, here's our game plan to get to the bottom of this. We're going to treat your battery like a patient on a diagnostic journey. We'll start with the voltage illusion, dig into the chemistry of specific gravity, run a pre-equalization test, administer the equalization treatment, check out the post-equalization verdict, and finally go over some absolutely crucial temperature and safety protocols.
Step 1. The voltage illusion. Let's uncover exactly why your charge controller might be lying to you right now.
Look, most channels and manuals out there teach you to just rely solely on voltage, but I want you to remember this mantra: voltage guesses, but specific gravity measures directly. Relying on a charge controller that only looks at voltage is honestly like looking at a fuel gauge that jumps around depending on how steep a hill you're driving on. It's really just an educated guess. Now, to be fair, even specific gravity can trick you if you measure it wrong. False readings can easily pop up if you test a battery that was just recently charged, or if the electrolyte is heavily stratified. And by stratified, I mean the heavy acid has sunk straight to the bottom and the light water is just floating at the top. So we've got to learn how to bypass these illusions.
Moving on to Section 2, the chemistry of specific gravity, the hidden science of electrolyte.
Okay, so in a flooded lead-acid battery, the energy isn't just stored electrically, it's actually stored chemically right there in the acid. Specific gravity is simply a measurement of the sulfuric acid concentration in your battery's fluid. It's kind of like a chemical seesaw. When you discharge the battery, that sulfuric acid literally turns into lead sulfate crystals that grab onto the lead plates. That causes the specific gravity of the leftover liquid to drop. But when you charge it back up, those crystals dissolve back into the fluid, and the specific gravity rises again. This exact chemical exchange is why a hydrometer is your absolute best diagnostic tool. It physically measures the weight of that acid.
Now check this out. You can actually map these specific gravity numbers directly to your real state of charge. If you pull fluid into your hydrometer and it reads 1.265, boom, you're looking at a 100% full, totally healthy cell. But if it reads 1.190, you are sitting at about 50% capacity, and I don't care what your voltage meter is telling you. And if you hit 1.120, yeah, you are completely flat. Seriously, memorize this scale, guys. It is your absolute ultimate source of truth.
All right, Section 3, the pre-equalization test. This is basically drawing your baseline blood test.
Before we even think about fixing anything, we have to run a baseline test. Following these 6 steps perfectly ensures you don't get tricked by those surface charge distortions we talked about. First up, throw on your PPE and make sure the room is ventilated. Second, and this is super crucial, let the battery rest for a good 1 to 2 hours after charging. Do not skip this. Testing right after a charge cycle gives you garbage data. Third, open the cell super carefully so no dirt falls in. Fourth, gently draw the liquid into the hydrometer. Fifth, read that float exactly at eye level. And lastly, repeat this for all the cells, labeling them 1 through 6. You have to know exactly which cell is doing what.
So here is the key. Once you have your numbers, you compare them against this threshold chart. You just take your highest reading and subtract your lowest reading. If that spread is 0.015 or less, awesome. Your battery is healthy and balanced. If it's between 0.015 and 0.030, okay, you've got a moderate imbalance that we need to deal with. But if a cell is lagging behind by more than 0.030, you are dealing with a severe imbalance. And remember, a battery is literally only as strong as its weakest cell. If one single cell drops out, your entire system takes a massive hit to its capacity.
Which brings us to Section 4, the equalization treatment. Time to force that stubborn sulfate to break down.
If your baseline test showed a moderate or severe imbalance, it's time for the treatment. Enter equalization. What is it? Basically, it's a controlled, deliberate overcharge. Think of it like intense physical therapy for those sulfated, lazy cells. By pushing extra voltage into the battery, we literally force those stubborn lead sulfate crystals, the ones refusing to dissolve normally, to finally break down. This vigorously bubbles the electrolyte, mixes up any of that nasty stratification, restores your acid concentration, and forces the lagging cells to finally catch up with the rest of the pack.
Next up, Section 5, the post-equalization verdict. Let's see if the patient actually recovered. Once that equalization cycle wraps up, we have to run a follow-up test. Doing the treatment without measuring the result is like taking antibiotics and just hoping the infection went away without checking. Now, the absolute most critical part of this retest, you must let the battery cool down first. Equalization literally boils the electrolyte, making it super hot. And what happens to hot liquid? It expands. This thermal expansion will completely throw off the physical buoyancy of your hydrometer float, giving you a falsely low reading. So wait for it to cool, gently mix the fluid if you need to, repeat the exact same test in the exact same order, and write those new numbers down right next to your baseline.
Let's look at what a real successful recovery looks like. Check out our before numbers here. Notice how that third cell was just lagging horribly at 1.210? That one single weak link was dragging down the whole battery. But now, look at the after numbers. The specific gravity across the board went up, and more importantly, that lazy third cell jumped from 1.210 all the way up to 1.245. The spread is super tight now, and the cells are beautifully rebalanced. That is exactly what you want to see. Now, if that cell had stayed stuck at 1.210, you'd be looking at permanent, irreversible damage to those plates. Finally, Section 6, crucial temperature and safety. These are the hidden variables and massive risks you absolutely need to know.
0.004. I know, it looks like a tiny, totally insignificant number, right? But it changes everything. Hydrometers are perfectly calibrated to exactly 25 degrees Celsius, or 77 degrees Fahrenheit. If your battery room is freezing cold or boiling hot, your raw reading is just straight up wrong. You absolutely must add 0.004 to your reading for every 10 degrees Celsius above 25, and obviously subtracted for every 10 degrees below 25. If you skip this math while you're snowed into a freezing winter cabin, you are going to completely misdiagnose your state of charge.
And please, never assume equalization is just some harmless everyday chore. First off, you're handling concentrated sulfuric acid that causes brutal burns, so the risk is real. Second, the equalization process pumps out highly explosive hydrogen gas. I'm not kidding. A single static spark can literally blow the top right off your battery. Third, you can actually destroy your battery by over-equalizing it. Do it too often or for too long, and you will literally boil and corrode the lead plates into nothing. Oh, and always keep your hydrometer squeaky clean so you don't contaminate your cells.
So, what does this all mean for us? Well, like the slide says, a hydrometer doesn't just measure acid, it measures truth. If you want to truly optimize your off-grid system, get years more life out of your expensive battery bank, and catch those weak cells before they plunge your house into darkness at 2 a.m., you gotta stop guessing with voltage. You need to start measuring the actual chemical truth happening inside your cells. So my final question to you is, what specific gravity readings are actually sitting inside your battery bank right now while you watch this? It might just be time to grab some gloves, pick up a hydrometer, and go find out for yourself. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and hey, happy testing.